Hello, I'm Dr. Mikey Mewborn, and this is Leadership Development. Today we're looking at the topic Enlist Others. You know, it's hard to enlist people when you can't cast a vision. It's hard to get people to join a movement if you really do not have some kind of purpose statement or something that people can grab a hold of and fight for. And so it's important for us to be able to create those types of things before we begin enlisting others. But once we do that, we can start looking around to see who shares our common values or beliefs, convictions, things like that. Try to find those people, and then when you try to find them, share with them your vision, your goals, but at the same time, listen to what theirs are. Finding that common ground is going to be important for enlisting others. Let's learn more about that as we begin this study. Hello and welcome to Leadership Development. Today we're looking at the topic Enlist Others. It's good to be with you. Let's begin our study. I want to start by talking about make the right appeals. Great leaders appeal to common ideals, engage the heart and mind, and connect what's meaningful to others with a shared vision. That teaching comes to us from Flashpoint Leadership Consulting. They work closely with another organization called the Leadership Challenge. The Leadership Challenge has been around for several years now and has given us different copies, versions of books, and study guides for understanding leadership. And so this is wonderful. They are at the forefront of the field of leadership. But what they're pushing in the whole idea of making the right appeals, there's two of them, they say, when you're trying to enlist others. Appeal to common ideals. Number two, appeal to animation. So we're going to look at a couple of those as we go. Appealing to the common ideals of others. Number one, connect individual contributions to the larger why, larger purpose, helping others, etc., those types of things. Number two, highlight how your vision is unique to those around you. And then number three, align your dream of the future to the aspirations and passions of your people. Help people determine how they belong and contribute to the bigger picture. So it's important for us to appeal to the common ideals of others if we are wanting to enlist them in our group or our corporation or nonprofit program, our social movement, whatever it might be. It's important to be able to do that. And then appeal to animation. Number one, use symbolic language to give life to a shared vision. Number two, create images through words to define the future so everyone can visualize where we are going. Number three, practice positive, confident, can-do communication rather than naysaying, as in we can't do that. Number four, express your emotions so people can experience what you are trying to explain. And number five, speak genuinely about the things you care about with passion. So it's important for us not just to be able to communicate well or to have a great product to communicate or a great vision or an ideal or a value, but it's equally important to share it with the right type of animation, the right type of language, symbolic language, positive type of language, emotional language. That's when people will gravitate toward your program and you'll be able to enlist others into that. I like this quote that comes out of the Leadership Challenge book given to us by Sonia Lopes. She said, "My enthusiasm, excitement, and commitment were contagious. I spoke from the heart with conviction and sincerity." So it's important for us to share our vision with great passion and emotion. This is how we'll be able to enlist others into a direction that we're going, an organization that we're involved with. Now, in the idea of sharing your vision, develop a shared sense of destiny. You have to teach your vision to others if you expect them to know it. Teaching a vision and confirming that the vision is shared is a process of engaging constituents in conversations about their lives, about their hopes and dreams. Sometimes when we think of teaching a vision, it's almost as if we are selling an idea. For instance, if you go to a car lot and you're looking to buy a new car, a lot of times a salesperson will come and speak to you, and what they're going to try to do is give you a reason why this car works for you, why you fit with this car or why this car fits in your life. They're going to try to make it personal. They're going to try to say, what do you need? Are you taking the kids to go play to their soccer games? Are you taking the kids to their football games? Are you going on trips to the park? Are you taking trips to Disney World? Those types of things. And they're going to try to create a narrative for you to get you to buy a car that best fits your needs. This is the way sales works. Well, in the same way, when you're trying to teach somebody your vision, you have to get them to see that they belong in that vision as well, or they need to share that vision as well. So you have to be able to teach it and communicate it in such a fashion that they feel it's necessary to be part of it. So that's important. Also, leadership is a dialogue, not a monologue. It's not just one person sharing their thoughts and then everybody just listens and then joins the group. It's deeper than that. It's trying to understand what is truly happening and why does it matter to me. And to be able to do that, there has to be a discussion. People have to know where you're coming from and vice versa. Also, visions are not individual dreams, they are shared ideas. You need many people to make it happen. I love the picture that we have here. When the idea of sharing a destiny, you start out with a question mark and then you start filling in that question mark there and you end up with a light bulb, an idea. I think it's a wonderful teaching tool for us. I think it's a wonderful illustration that helps us see where we start and then where we can finish. Next, we see visions offer people a sense of belonging and worth. And then visions offer hope. And that's so important because if people need something or people want something, then they're more apt to go after it. Well, everybody needs hope. And so visions offer that for many people. That's important. And then listen deeply to others. We need to listen more, speak less. Understanding leadership as a reciprocal relationship puts listening in its proper perspective. So you need to know your constituents. That's one major thing that has to be done. Know your constituents. How do you do that? You listen to them, heed their advice, give voice to their feelings. This is how you know when you're listening to somebody. When you're heeding their advice, you are giving voice to their feelings, and they see that actually taking place. When they see that what they share with you is impacting something for the future or changing an idea or tweaking a thought, then they feel like they're more involved in the process, and that's going to help in the idea of listening. Also, we see personal struggles hinder performance and productivity. Create opportunities for people to share their concerns. If something is hurting someone or bothering somebody or hindering their productivity, you need to find out what that is. Allow them to be able to do that. Create opportunities for them to do that. Create opportunities for people to help one another. This is so obvious in the church world, but it also can be very effective in other organizations. For instance, if you're in a staff meeting or if you're in a leadership meeting, one of the important things to do is to bring up how everyone's doing, have people be able to share those types of things, what's going on in your life. And maybe a concern comes up and somebody else in that group hears that concern and says, hey, I can help you with that. Maybe somebody brings up the idea that we have a rotting wood problem in our house. Well, there might be somebody in that group that knows somebody that can help that. So when we hear about these concerns, we can jump to help other people, and it'll just be better for the organization as a whole. Also, create opportunities for people to develop friendships. You need to have opportunities where you either go out for coffee, you go out for lunch, you go and play maybe softball together or basketball together, and you have some events where you're just coming together, a work picnic or some kind of zoo day, something like that, where people can come together and enjoy fellowship with one another, because that will help the organization thrive. Now, also, I want to look at 6 ways effective listening can make you a better leader, and you get this from Forbes.com. Show that you care. Engage yourself. Be empathetic. Don't judge others. Be expansively mindful. and don't interrupt others. Um, when we're talking about showing care for the first point, and then point 6 is don't interrupt, I think you cover it all with that, because if we're listening to people, we're knowing where they are in their lives. We're not going to be judgmental toward them. We're not just going to offer advice all the time, but what we're going to do is listen to them without interruption, and just listen to what their concerns are, and then work with those concerns and try to help them. Here are a few statistics about effective listening. 85% of what we know we have learned through listening. Humans generally listen at a 25% comprehension rate. In a typical business day, we spend 45% of our time listening, 30% of our time talking, 16% reading, and 9% writing. Less than 2% of all professionals have had formal education or learning to understand and improve listening skills and techniques. That's coming directly from Forbes.com, and that's going to be your top leaders that are doing this survey and coming up with these statistics. But look at that last point. Less than 2% of all professionals have had formal education or learning to understand and improve listening skills and techniques. It really is a skill. It's an art to be able to listen to someone and comprehend them. It takes practice. It's something that should be exercised. It's kind of like a muscle. If you don't use it, you lose it. This idea that we have to practice listening, we've got to work hard at it, see what people are saying, and understand that, comprehend that. I want to give you a quote by Stephen Covey, similar to quotes we've seen in the past, but it's helpful for us. People don't listen to understand. They listen to reply. The collective monologue is everyone talking and no one listening. He's making a great point here. And of course, it's one of those points that you make maybe in a book or a leadership conference that strikes everybody. When someone says, people don't listen to understand. It's like a parent saying, you're not listening to me. If you would listen to me, you would understand. What he's saying there is that people have a problem, and we haven't developed the skill of listening enough. And what we are doing is just living in this constant monologue, listening to ourselves speak or just speaking out and not taking in. And he said that is a huge problem in the world today. We need to listen more and speak less. All right. Well, this has been Enlist Others. It's good to be with you today. God bless you, and we'll talk to you soon. Bye-bye. All right, that concludes our study today about enlisting others. It's so important for us to share our values and our vision with other people, but it's equally important for us to listen to other people. And by communicating with one another, we'll be able to come up with a common purpose that we can accomplish together. Now, when we think of groups, maybe it's the start of a new church, maybe it's the start of a new nonprofit or some kind of corporation or a business. What you're going to have to do is get constituents or people around you that agree with those values or those convictions. And as you do that, you're going to need to develop close relationships with them for them to be able to share their ideas, for you to share your ideas, and to strengthen what you have. When they know that they're a part of something that's bigger than them, they'll usually stay and they'll usually support it to the best of their ability. It's good to be with you. God bless you, and we'll talk to you soon. Bye-bye.